lights and bright colors, the future is drawing near with new thoughts and ideas. My dreams, they all start right here. So I take a step and time will tell. I'm filling up high like a wishing well. I got big dreams to take over the world. I got big dreams to take over the world. I got big dreams to take over the world. I got big dreams to take over the world. Yeah, I woke up in the morning with a taste for revolution. I got a plan upon the paper ready for the execution. With my hands in the air, reaching out to grab this freedom. And the signs are really clear, it's just some don't know how to read them. Yeah, let's take it up from here and watch the problems as they disappear. A new day's coming now across the land. I found the key, open the lock inside my hand. I got big dreams to take over the world. I got big dreams to take over the world. I got big dreams to take over the world. I got big dreams to take over the world.
This is the last call for the bathroom. The show will begin in 20 minutes. Please take your seats. The show is about to begin.
I got the rhyme time algorithm, feed the feel good meter, up top tempo, tap and blowing out the speaker. I got the move, sway, jump, jive, singing out my song, living life to the fullest with my dance shoes on. Take a look around you, everything it has a beat, from the people all around to the walls of concrete. There's a rhythm, there's a flow, there's a stop, there's a go. If you never paid attention, then maybe you didn't know. Everything is moving to a relative time, you can always count it out. There's a reason and a rhyme, you were made to feel alive, like the music so sweet. So get up off your seat, just feel the beat. Yeah, just a little louder now. Yeah, just a little louder now. Come on, just a little louder now. Yeah, yeah, come on and feel the beat. Just feel the beat.
Welcome to the 2025 Ambies. Before we start the live show, we have some important information to share with you. For all attendees, please turn off your cell phones during the show. Remember to have fun and clap. Directions for the nominees. If you win, you have 30 seconds to walk up to the stage. Enter on stage right. If you win, you will then exit stage left after you accept the award and will be escorted by a member of our team to the media room. If you win and you are nominated for multiple categories, do not go to the media room until after your last category is called. Each nominee is allowed up to the stage with a group. However, only one person from your group can give the acceptance speech in order to help the show run on time.
Dreams that take over the world. Yeah, I woke up in the morning with the taste for revolution. I got a plan upon the paper ready for the execution. With my hands in the air, reaching out to grab this freedom. And the signs are really clear, it's just some don't know how to read them. Yeah, let's take it up from here and watch the problems as they disappear. A new day's coming now across the land. I found the key, open the lock inside my hand. I got big dreams that take over the world. I got big dreams that take over the world. I got big dreams that take over the world. I got big dreams that take over the world. person.
My brother has a podcast. His words are so sublime. He brings us news and information. His show is Leave a Time.
My girlfriend's into podcasts. She has a new obsession. She loves wrongful conviction. It leaves strong impression.
Mark Maron's show alone could play for 30 years. 5 years of the Ambies, celebrating greatness, shining light on new shows. Man, I can't say I hate this. Everyone's got one, every mother, son, and daughter. I'm office ladies in the streets, freakonomics in the sheets.
Sam Sanders, Dallas Taylor, Gray shows hook you at the trailer. High-rise heights and cement city, curling scandals for the pit. Scam got us, yeah, it's funny. Snap judgments, more money. Conan looking for some friends. Right on Young is making trends.
Welcome to the show. The Ambies Awards for the finest audio. We elevate the best from the depths of all the rest. We listen
Welcome to the 5th Annual Ambies, the awards for excellence in audio. Here is your host, Tig Notaro.
Good evening, everybody, everyone, buddy. Welcome to the 2025 Ambies Awards. Like that disembodied voice just said, I am your host, Tig Notaro. Thank you to the Podcast Academy. I'm honored to be here hosting the 5th Annual Ambies Awards. When I was younger, I always dreamed of hosting the Ambies. I'd look in my bathroom mirror holding my hairbrush in one hand, pretending it was a microphone, and a shampoo bottle in the other as an Ambie. When I got this job, I remember calling my wife, Stephanie, immediately, telling her, "You're never going to guess what I was just hired to do." But she did. She guessed it. She knew right away. She said, "The Ambies?" She knew how badly I wanted this. I mean, I'm 54 now, so it has literally been since I was 48. Thank you. Yeah. I was mid-sentence, so I didn't plan for the applause break there. What does the teleprompter say here? I was 48 years old. Since I was 48 years old, I've been dreaming of it. Now it seems like this isn't naturally what I'm saying. Is this? Anyway. It's been a short road getting here, but well worth the wait. This is a very coveted hosting gig, and you know when the host tells you that it has to be true. Now, before we get started, I need to do some housekeeping. First off, you'll all need your own headphones, so there's no feedback tonight. And we are recording on our end, but if you could all just use your voice memos for backup, we'd really appreciate it. And lastly, let's all hold for 10 seconds for room tone. Okay, great, we got that. Podcasting has become so enormously popular, so many moved away from watching the traditional talk shows and started recording their own audio shows by piling up a pillow fortress around them and crouching in their closets with clunky microphones they ordered overnight online. And people listened in from all over the world. And then money poured in and sponsors came and networks were created, and now those networks give us a studio and fancy microphones and a coffee table and coffee mugs and big comfy chairs to sit in and hair and makeup, and it's all filmed, so you don't just get to listen, you can watch too. It's like a talk show. Similar to when radio went to TV and then back to radio and then ultimately arrived back to TV. So here we are. Was it all worth that? Yeah, yes it was. Because my dream of hosting the Ambies finally came true tonight. That's right, the teleprompter says, hold for applause. So otherwise, I would have been stuck hosting, if the Ambies hadn't happened, I would have been stuck hosting a televised award show that millions of people would have watched. No thank you. The Ambies celebrate the best of the best in podcasting from the only people podcasters respect, other podcasters, also known as everyone alive. I would like to congratulate all of tonight's nominees. I thought my own podcast, Handsome, that I host with two of my crowd goes mild. I thought my podcast, Handsome, that I host with two of my fellow comedian friends, Fortune Feimster and Mae Martin, was wildly popular, but we are not nominated in any of the 7 trillion categories this year. But all joking aside, it is an honor just to have a podcast. And boy, have I had podcasts. From my first one, Professor Blastoff, back in 2011, to Don't Ask Tig, to True Story, and now Handsome, the podcast I mentioned before that didn't get nominated. I actually think I'm pretty good at podcasting, good enough to be recognized by the Academy for it. Absolutely not, but good enough to watch everyone else get a podcast awarded? Absolutely not. I don't know what I'm saying at this point in this extremely long monologue, but you're all podcasters and you know what it is like to ramble on and on into a microphone and not know if what you're saying makes any sense or if anyone's even listening. Point is, I don't need the acclaim for my undeniable talents. I have hosting money. Plus, my family jumped at the chance to spend this free trip to cold and rainy Chicago for their spring break. So who's the winner now, Academy? Regardless, I'm thrilled to be back in this windy city of yours and McCormick Place. Man, it is as beautiful as everyone says. Chicago really is all about the architecture. Plus, who needs Hawaii? Normally, it's so hard to find the time, but I'm right here for the American College of Cardiology's annual meeting. See? Yeah, it's all perfect and how it was meant to be. And who knows, if all goes well tonight, maybe next year I'll be hosting the annual cardiology meeting on the 2nd floor. Finally, because I'm so good at podcasting, but not good enough to get nominated for anything, I'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors, but instead of me reading some pre-approved copy, let's just applaud these guys. We wouldn't get to be here tonight without them, and as we covered, we're really happy to be here. We also would not be here without the expert ears of the Blue Ribbon panel judges. If you are here tonight, please stand so we can thank you. Are you all who decided who got nominated? So now let's get to the good stuff. Here to present our first awards, please welcome the actor and comedian who is also a co-host of tonight's nominated podcast, The Culturistas, Matt Rogers.
Tig Notaro, everybody, come on. Thank you, Tig. Our first category tonight is one that may not be for everybody, but it is for a lot of people, like an alarming number of people. True crime deals with some of the darkest and most disturbing parts of the human experience. And so many people cannot stop listening. I have to ask, are you guys okay? It's very dark stuff. I'm gonna answer my question. It's America in 2025. Suddenly, I get it. You know what? Do your thing. Turn the volume up. Listen to that murder reenactment, girl. I support you. The quality of nominees tonight certainly help explain why we hit play, even as we turn off all the lights and triple lock our doors. The nominees are:
for Best True Crime Podcast, here are the nominees: Beyond All Repair, Fire Escape, Lords of Death, The Burden, The Official Jinx Podcast, Who Killed Jennifer Judd, Wrongful Conviction.
And the winner is Beyond All Repair.
This is very, very cool, and this belongs to a lot of people, so I'll try to be very brief, including Zach Stewart-Pontier and Ben Brock Johnson, who really believed in this story from the very beginning and in my ability to tell it, and thank you so, so much. Margaret Lowe and Victor Hernandez at WBUR, who made it possible for something like this to be made at WBUR. The marketing team, Kristen and Briley, and Jess Coughlin, who is here, and I think you actually manifested this, so thank you. Paul Vicus and Matt Reed, who sound designed and scored the whole thing and also processed the bejesus out of all of my mouth noises. Huge thanks to them. Sumita Joshi and Liz Stiles, and Sophie Codner, who was just the best producer and partner on a project like this that I could ever hope for. Mike, who is the best part of being alive, and my family, Mom, Dad, Julia, and Ziggy, who just loved me in a way that I think a lot of people in this story were not. And I think this story wouldn't exist if everybody had a family like them. So I hope we can all be that for each other. Thank you for listening and for voting. And the Ambies, thank you, and support your public radio station. Thank you so much.
Okay. So there is some overlap in this next category, which is honoring the talent of the people who sit down and write a script before turning on the microphones. I wouldn't know. Fine-tuning every line for maximum impact on their listeners, all while maintaining the facts their stories demand. Whether revealing the depths of a years-long conspiracy or the subtleties of a single moment in a life, the nominees in Best Scriptwriting, Nonfiction, keep us hanging on every word. Here are the nominees for Best Scriptwriting, Nonfiction. And the winner is Ashley Kleek, Al Letson, and Brett Myers for Reveal.
Hi, I'm accepting this award on behalf of Al Letson, Ashley Creek, and Brett Myers at Reveal. I just want to warn you, you voted for them for Best Script Writing, so settle in for a minute, because they wrote some stuff. They want to thank you guys so much for this recognition. The idea for this episode sprang from the brain of Al Letson, a Florida native who watched his state government target DEI, education, and even the language we use to teach history. They wanted to show people inside and outside of Florida what was happening, how fast it was happening, and the all-encompassing fear it stoked. These are all themes that feel like foreshadowing now. Everything is connected. History bleeds moment into moment. We are tied to the past as we are indebted to the future. Thank you.
The nominees in our next category also care about the facts of their story, maybe more than anything. These people have a saying: if your mother says she loves you, double check the source. The nominees in Best Reporting engross us in the truth as close as you can get it, and we're all grateful for it. The nominees for Best Reporting are and the Ambies Award for Best Reporting goes to Dan Taberski for Hysterical.
Thank you so much. What's really amazing is that we've actually met before. It was this is okay. It was in Cherry Grove, and I sat down next to you when we were seeing Patti LuPone in concert.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, it's not a big deal. And she sang Don't Cry For Me, Argentina. And I was like, oh my God. Like, it's really... Anyway, thank you for this. It's hilarious that I'm the one accepting this because I work with people who do the majority of the on-the-ground reporting for what we do. And they do it so well, and they're great. Journalists and thinkers and friends, so I accept this for them.
Thank you.
Please welcome to the stage Pulitzer Prize-winning investigative reporter Ronan Farrow, whose first Audible podcast just dropped last week.
Hello, everyone. How you doing out there? You staying hydrated in these trying times? Yeah? I see some hydrated, dewy faces there. So the name of this category I'm supposed to present is Best News, which is weird because it's 2025. The news is not good, fam. It's especially not good for those of us who care about access to the news. Local newspapers across the country are vanishing. Entire communities are becoming news deserts. We now live in a country where national networks are quietly settling with the government that they're supposed to hold accountable. Where the White House throws out reporters and rolls out the red carpet for influencers. Where the FCC is being weaponized like a political bludgeon. Meanwhile, the public's attention, and it's not great to begin with, is being fed a steady diet of outrage, of distraction, of algorithmic noise. In that vacuum, accountability dies quietly. If we want to live in a reality-based world, if we want a public that's informed rather than inflamed, if we want the truth to survive, all of us need to support a new vanguard of confronting journalism. That's where tonight's nominees come in. The nominees for Best News are working without the safety nets of legacy media. They are confronting the complexity of this moment without dumbing it down. They are asking real questions, and they are believing that an informed audience is still possible. They are giving us the bad news in the best way, condensing the chaos of current events into something digestible so we can all go through our day a little more informed and a little less happy. And the nominees are...
For the Best News Podcast, here are the nominees. The Journal, The Take. The 10 News. Today Explained. Trump's trials. What next? World Report.
And the Ambie goes to the 10 News.
I can't believe this. I'm Tracy Leeds Kaplan, creator and executive producer of the 10 News. It's news for kids 8 to 12 and their families to engage around what's going on in the world. I started the show in 2020 in the height of the pandemic when I realized my kids were getting their news from political ads on YouTube. I did not think I'd still be making this 5 years later. First of all, I'd like to thank Jeremiah Tittle for kicking me in the butt to get going on this. Yes, it's a kid's show, so I'm going to say butt on a live stream. I really like to thank Donald Albright, the team at iHeart, and Rococo Punch for really helping me get this off the ground back in 2020. And just a huge thank you to my amazing team and the show's co-hosts, Ryan Willard and Pamela Kirkland. They never say no when I'm like, hey, we need to cover gun violence or the war in Ukraine, and yes, International Lego Day. We really do cover it all. Thank you so much to my family who was like, what are you doing? But okay, we're gonna go with you on this ride and lend their voices. My son, he does the trivia at the end of every episode, and I haven't paid him yet, so I think after this, he might have a case. Thank you to my current network, Airwave Media, and a huge, huge thank you to my donors. I'm independent now. This show only happens because of the people who are willing to give money to make sure that there's something like this out there. And so finally, to my fellow podcasters and the judges who voted for the show, thank you, thank you, thank you. There aren't many news shows for kids, and kids really need shows that talk with them, not at them. And they need to know that they're not alone and how important it is to learn, to question, and to really understand what's going on around you. So thank you again, and as we say on the show, stay cool, kind, and informed. Thank you.
That makes me really glad that I scrubbed an F-bomb out of these remarks at the last minute. The nominees for Best Politics and Opinion include the words autocracy, vibes, and Elon. So a mood board for 2025. These shows are doing the impossible. They are making sense of a political landscape that feels like it was written by AI and trained on ketamine and Reddit comments. They fuel the group chats, they fuel the subtweets, they give us the quiet existential dread. They keep us informed enough for those debates with that one relative who thinks the moon landing was a metaphor, and they are way cheaper than therapy. And the Ambie goes to the NPR Politics Podcast.
Thank you so very much to everyone here and to everyone who voted. The idea of covering this election and everything that happened in it with attempted assassinations and changes of candidates and everything else was insane, even for a 24-hour live breaking news network. And to do it with a podcast just felt impossible, and yet we did it, and are so proud of the work. I wanted to recognize some of the people involved who asked me to say the following. We at the NPR Politics Podcast come to work every day with a simple goal to declutter politics. We're indebted to our listeners for allowing us that privilege, and we thank you for this recognition of our work. That team includes Tamara Keith, Susan Davis, Asma Khalid, Sarah McCammon, Casey Morrell, Kelly Weisinger, and Bria Suggs, and all the fearless journalists at NPR upon who we rely on every day. Thank you very much.
Support NPR, everybody. You confused about the encroaching oligarchy? The nominees for Best Business Podcast are here to help. It's a segue. These shows dismantle the mythology of disruption. They decode the sacred rights of the modern boardroom. They make sense of the systems we're told are too complex to question. And they do it all without trying to sell you sketchy supplements or a JPEG of a monkey in a sailor hat. Together, these shows make late-stage capitalism just legible enough to make you really want to burn it down. And the Ambie for Best Business Podcast goes to How I Built This Podcast with Guy Raz. Come on up.
Thank you. Wow. I am surprised to be up here. Thank you so much. Thank you to the amazing team that puts this show together, Neva, John, and just incredible producers, our amazing partners at Wondery, Jen Sargent and Marsha Louie, for believing in this show. We believe in the power of podcasting to inspire people, and we are honored to get to do this every day. And this is such an incredible honor. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we're going to recognize the podcasts that find the other categories too small. They are reflecting on and are reflections of society and culture, the whole gamut. From body issues to, hey, whatever happened to that one person we all knew everything about for a hot second, but then disappeared only to resurface again 14 years after leaving the cult they accidentally got sucked into. The nominees have got what you want and what you didn't even know you wanted.
For the Best Society and Culture Podcast, here are the nominees. Hysterical. In Retrospect with Susie Banakaram and Jessica Bennett. Inheriting. Mind Your Own with Lupita Nyong'o. My Devo. 16th Minute of Fame. Wait for it.
And the winner is Inheriting.
Hi, everyone. I did write something. My grandma, Hui Chen, came to this country on a student visa in 1939. We've been hearing a lot about those because her country was invaded and she had to flee here to survive. And the thing about times of fear is that there are always survivors, and they grow up, and some of those survivors are sitting in this room. Some of my fellow nominees, actually, who have made extraordinary work, and I admire each and every one of them. This show, Inheriting, it spans 80 years of Asian American and Pacific Islander history. It was made by an all-Asian team and funded entirely by individual donors who wanted the stories of immigrant families to be given the loudest, most loving platform possible. And I want to thank the 7 families who participated and trusted us with their stories: the Parks, the Uches, the Trongs, the Inaba Bash family, the Santos family, the Syed Saids, and the Salavers, my co-creator Anjali Sastry Kurbacek, Sarah Saracen, Catherine Mailhouse, Minju Park, who's here tonight and is in Chicago, James Chow, Donald Paz, Caitlin Antonios, Jens Campbell, Patricia Tumong, Shana Naomi Krochmal, Eliast, NPR, the voters, and Inheriting's listeners and supporters, and my family. We hope to make season 2. Thank you so much for this.
Where do we go?
Now on to the best podcast for kids. I have kids. And here are the nominees. And the winner is Wow in the World.
It's a little bit weird to be back up here after doing a business show. But I'm also part of a kids show called Wow in the World, and here with Henry Moskal. Wow, thank you so much. Thank you to my amazing partners, Meredith Halpern-Ranzer, the amazing Mindy Thomas, who is the heart and soul behind Wow in the World, our incredible team of producers at Tinkercast, and of course our partners at Wondery, who believe in this show, champion this show, and let us just play and tinker and bring wow to the world. Thank you so much. Thank you.
If you're a sports fan, the only thing better than the thrill of the game is delighting in every possible analysis you can get your hands on, from friends to experts. I'm so not a sports person, I didn't know that was a joke. Tonight's nominees in Best Sports Podcast aren't just for the diehard fans, whether you can list all the crosstown classics in order or not. These nominees, I don't know what I'm saying. These nominees delight all of us in everything from smack talk to the breakdown of some of the greatest sports stories of all time. And the teleprompter says, wow, this section didn't have a single joke in it, but we know that's not true. Here are the nominees. And the winner is Broomgate, a curling scandal.
everybody. I want to thank, I'm not a sports person either, Tig, so. I want to thank CBC. Thanks, guys. I want to thank our host, John Cullen, for bringing us this story, this wild story. If you don't know, it's about a broom. Thanks to Kathleen Goldhar. Thanks to Josh Block at USG for believing in this story. I pitched it to him 3 years ago at Podcast Movement. He believed that a story about a broom could be as compelling as a true crime podcast. And it is. You should go listen to it. It's very fun. It's about a broom. But thank you, everybody.
This wasn't anything I was supposed to share with you. It's not on my teleprompter, but I just wanted to say, this is just inside scoop. The trophy is just being recycled over and over because they ship everybody their trophies later. But the trophy you see tonight, it's just truly going from here behind the curtain and then back. It's been so fun to watch. Not that this show hasn't been fun on its own, but that's just a little behind the scenes of the audio world. Please welcome one of the governors from the Podcast Academy Board of Governors and host and executive producer of Tuckered Out with Ami Tucker.
Hi, guys. Well, I mean, I get to go after Tig, and I met Ronan backstage, so I think these awards are pretty cool. So each year, the Board of Governors determines who should receive the Governor's Award, intended to recognize a podcast or individual for the compelling influence they've had on the podcasting landscape. It is meant to pay tribute to the titans of our industry, the people and works we all recognize and admire. This year, we get to honor a man once called the godfather of podcasting, Ira Glass. Believe it or not, This American Life will celebrate its 30th anniversary this fall and is one of Ira's many remarkable accomplishments in his brilliant career. The show's creation changed the radio and, as a very early adopter, the podcasting landscape. His brilliance in crafting stories and his unique way of giving audiences informal, direct, and unfiltered access to lives and stories we never would have thought to consider has kept us hooked from the beginning. For over 850 episodes, and counting, Ira Glass has inspired a generation of storytellers and continues to have a profound effect on his millions of listeners. Now, although Ira has insisted his voice is not one that's meant for radio, we all know it's a voice we can't imagine ever being without.
When I put the show on the air, I thought like, well, you know, every day on the daily news shows on NPR, there's some story and you can't get out of your car and you just get caught up in the people. And I was like, well, somebody should just make a show that's just that. From WBEZ Chicago, it's This American Life, distributed by Public Radio International. Stay with us.
This show is pretty much credited for introducing the world to podcasts. Did you think it would take off like that? Are you still surprised?
I mean, I definitely am surprised. Yeah. Like, I took longer to figure out how to do this than anybody I've ever met. I feel like a lot of stories in our show follow like the structure of like of an old-fashioned Broadway play where they're funny at the beginning and they get sad at the end, you know?
And the entire process of making the story is convincing the story to not be what it wants to be, which is bad.
I think a radio show is better when the presenter, when the reporter exists as a person.
Yeah.
You know, and like I feel like then there's more to listen for. I'm editing this in my head, and I was like, are we going to use any of this? Are you going to use any of this?
I think we will.
No music yet. Ira, I personally want to thank you, to say thank you. I remind myself of your gap theory on days that I absolutely want to quit. You remind all of us to trust our own taste and just keep on doing the work. It is the Podcast Academy's honor to present this year's Governor's Award to Ira Glass.
Thank you. Thank you. That's really nice. Thank you. I work with a lot of people who deserve the credit along with me. Our show's a team effort, like all of your shows as well, I'm sure. When our show started in 1995, I think this room, this group of people, the idea of millions of podcasts, many of them narrative journalism with audio, was just unthinkable. And I don't know, it was just like unimaginable. And I like the future that we ended up with when it comes to this one part of the future. It's funny, I want to use my brief time here to say, like, we all have different approaches to our shows, and I just want to put in a word for the facts. It was nice to see in the awards that have been given so far that so many of these are fact-based shows, fact-based winners, sometimes about a broom, apparently. Like, we're in a war over facts. Like, I feel like not enough gets said about the fact that, like, tens of thousands or maybe hundreds of thousands of people died from misinformation during the COVID years because they didn't believe the facts. They were led to not believe facts about vaccines that could have saved their lives. And I just think, like, we have to stand up for facts. I just want to say, if you are a podcaster and you have the future president of the United States on your podcast, and he says a lot of stuff that isn't true about elections being stolen, do us all a favor and call him out on it, you know? Stand up for the facts, argue with him. He's a big guy, he can take it. Be idealistic, stand up for the truth. See you guys all.
Presenting the next awards will be Chief Content Officer of Airwave, Ben Mathis.
Of course, I had to follow Ira Glass. He gets a standing ovation, but that's okay. He deserves it. Fine. The nominees in Best Documentary don't just have to lead us to new stories, but they take us all the way through it. Their mastery of both facts and narrative leaves us wanting more, our newfound perspectives lingering in our hearts and minds long past the last episode. The nominees are...
For the Best Documentary Podcast, here are the nominees. Extrasensory. Lost Patience. Silence in Sykeston. Snap Judgment. Tested. The Final War. Uganda's hidden rainbow.
And the winner is Tested.
Hi, everyone. I am accepting this award on behalf of many collaborators on this project. This was made with the CBC, with NPR, and with a production company called Bucket of Eels, led by Rose Eveleth. Oh my gosh!
I'm here.
Oh, take it. I was just going to give it to you.
Hi, I'm Rose. Sorry, I didn't know you were here. Hi.
I was just about to say that Rose should do all of this, so this is good.
Hi, sorry. I wrote something that I should read because I'm not really great at extemporaneous speaking. Thank you so much. CBC, NPR, my team Bucket of Eels. I pitched this story for 8 years. I pitched 26 places, and the 27th was CBC. I wish that this story weren't relevant right now. Unfortunately, a couple of weeks ago, World Athletics, the governing body of track and field, announced that they would actually ban all of the athletes that I reported on and tested, and they would actually bring back sex testing for all female athletes to make sure they were the correct kind of female athlete. Today is Trans Day of Visibility. Trans rights are human rights, intersex rights are human rights, and it's really important to remember that. Thank you so much. I hope one day this is a historical podcast and not a modern podcast, and I really appreciate everyone. Thank you so much to Katie, who helped lead this, as well as the CBC folks who are here. Thank you.
While most of us think of the voices of our favorite hosts or performers when we think of our favorite podcasts, music plays a very important role, heightening emotions, clarifying themes, and resonating with us all on its own. These nominees in Best Original Score and Music Supervision know exactly how to elevate through music to their story's benefit and ours. And the winner is Ripple, Dan Leone. Unfortunately, Dan can't be here tonight to accept, but we are very happy to accept the award on his behalf. A good podcast almost always has something to teach you, but the nominees in this category make sure that you leave every episode with a host of discoveries about the world and the wonderful, or weird and wild things in it. Knowledge, science, or tech is all about finding what possibilities exist and what might come to be. They answer all the questions we didn't even know we had. The nominees in knowledge, science, or tech are and the winner is 99% Invisible.
Okay, so I am accepting this award on behalf of Roman Mars and the 99% Invisible team. They couldn't be here tonight, even though they really wanted to, but they wanted me to pass along this message. Thank you to the Podcast Academy for this award.
This year marks the 15th anniversary of 99% Invisible, and in that time, we've produced over 600 episodes of the show. We're grateful that people have continued to listen throughout that time and care that goes into each episode. Thank you to SiriusXM for supporting, to every member of the 99PI team, past and present, and to the listeners for championing the type of narrative storytelling we love to do.
This next category I totally get because I actually care a lot about wellness and relationships. They are kind of interconnected, and this category can cover all of those possibilities, from what's a throuple to am I well enough to join a throuple, to I'm in a throuple and now I'm not well, to how do I get out of this throuple? But more importantly, how do I get out of this throuple bit that's going too long? Whatever you're looking for, throuple or not, these nominees in Best Wellness or Relationships have got you covered.
For the Best Wellness or Relationships podcast, here are the nominees. An Arm and a Leg. Overlooked. Women's Health Can't Wait. Silence in Sykeston. The Midlife Truth Project. Therapy for Black Girls. Untold, The Retreat. Why Won't You Date Me with Nicole Byer.
And the winner is Therapy for Black Girls.
Hello. Hi, it's a privilege to be able to accept this Ambies Award on behalf of Therapy for Black Girls and to be in such good company. Dr. Joy Harden Bradford, your vision, voice, and dedication are the foundation of this podcast. And Dr. Joy would like to thank the listeners, the community that truly keeps the conversations grounded and evolving. Dr. Joy would also like to thank her incredible team behind the scenes, Elise, Ashley, Tyree, Ndeye, the iHeart Podcast Partners teams, and executive producer Maya Howard. And another thank you to the Podcast Academy for this recognition. Thank you.
Whew. I finally got out of that throuple bit, and there's no reason for me to go back because I have moved on. I feel grounded now and centered. Oh no. Centered just reminded me of being wedged between two people, which of course brings me back to thruples. Apparently, I can't do hard things. Well, the nominees for Best Personal Growth and Spirituality are and the winner is 10% Happier with Dan Harris. Dan Harris is not here. I'm happy to accept this award on their behalf and just send it back into rotation. So you'll be seeing it again. Now put your hands together for Emmy-winning actor and producer of tonight's nominated podcast, The Man Who Calculated Death, John Cryer.
Hello. Before I start this stuff, I must say I am very nervous to be here, actually, because I don't know that you people understand the level of podcast dork that I am. I came here with my wife, and I was like, honey, don't turn around. Don't turn around. Dan Taberski is right behind you. Don't turn around. Honey, don't turn around. So it is amazing to be amongst all of y'all. You fill my dog walks with joy. Thank you. Okay, so it's one thing to sit down and write when you've got something in front of you, facts, dates, your third grade teacher's Let's Learn Smiles writing prompt. But when there's nothing, when it's a blank page and your own imagination conspiring to make a brilliant story or kill you, whatever comes first, these nominees in Best Scriptwriting Fiction are not only alive, but thriving, having conquered that blank page, not just for themselves, but for the delight of us all. They deserve some real credit for the toiling and bringing their shows to life, and the nominees are and the Ambie goes to Anderson Cook and Sydney Butler for Academy.
All right. Thank you so much. My name is Will Malnati. I'm with At Will Media. We did this with the wonderful Wondery. I'm accepting this on behalf of Anderson Cook and Sydney Butler, who wrote this amazing series. The creators, Connor Wright, Christina Friel, and Anderson Cooper. Produced by Brigham Snow and Ashley Taylor, and a whole group of amazing people. On the Wondery side, Jen Sargent, Marsha Louie, Aaron O'Flaherty, Brian White, Jenny Mullen, Aaron Hart. This was a tough show because fiction is hard. If you've done it in podcasting, you know. But we really worked hard on this one and wanted to do something different. And what I would say is this. When you believe in something and you feel like you really got to do it because you just have that itch, it needs to be scratched, go for it. This is what we did with this one. Thank you to everyone who listened. Thank you to the Academy. Appreciate it.
Okay, so those percentages about 80% or whatever of communication being nonverbal are actually a myth, but it's just the number that's wrong. So much of how we receive words is what's behind them. We hang on to that number because we know how important a glance or a shrug can be, and don't even get me started on tone. But the performers in this category give us everything we need from their voices alone, bringing us into their feelings and their stories as truly as if we were right beside them. The nominees in Best Performance in Audio Fiction are...
For Best Performance in Audio Fiction. Brought to you by Audible. Here are the nominees.
And the Ambie goes to the full cast for The Skies Are Watching. Bring on. Woo.
I'm Steve Hine. I'm here on behalf of some of my friends. They couldn't be here tonight, but the producers and cast, I'm going to read something. The producers and cast are unable to attend, but the writers and producers Todd Loetto and John Fischette are grateful to Caitlin Stacy, Jake the Snake Roberts, David Yo, Guinevere Turner, Caroline Mohan, and the rest of the incredible cast that made this show possible and deserve this award. So thank you on behalf of the cast and producers of this show. Hold on. I have to take a picture to show Todd and John, so if you all would just do me the pleasure of Thank you so much, and I'll put this back in rotation.
The Ambies, as you probably know, but I'm going to tell you anyway, were not named for a cool person named Ambie, but for ambient sound. It's always there. It's something that's always there, at least unless you're in some sort of anechoic chamber. It's a big sound design joke right there. But you're not. So you just have to have great sound designers and producers looking out for you and keeping an eye on whatever ambient noise is in your studio instead. So they do a lot to make us worth listening to elevate the podcast listening experience across the board, and they deserve to be rewarded. The nominees in Best Production and Sound Design are:
For Best Production and Sound Design, brought to you by Dolby. Here are the nominees.
And the Ambie goes to Michelle Macklem for Girl v. Horse.
Up here. So I'm accepting this on behalf of Michelle, our sound designer, who was amazing. Clearly she won. She's so great, as are all of the nominees. We just loved listening to everybody's thing. So Michelle is a painter with sound. We gave her a task of what does a seizure sound like, and she just blew us all away. And we have to shout out to our composer as well, Morgan Kibbe. And thank you to ESPN 30 for 30 for believing in this crazy story about outrunning a horse and letting us put a talking horse in a documentary show. Yeah, have a great day, everyone.
Please welcome onto the stage the founder of the Listening Party Agency and the Podcast Academy chairperson, along with members of our 2025 Board of Governors.
It's so wonderful to be here tonight with everyone, celebrating our community.
And to be representing all our members. The members of the Podcast Academy didn't just vote for tonight's nominees and winners. They also elected us and our fellow governors to the Board of Governors.
If you're not a member, now is a pretty great time to consider it. The Podcast Academy is the only professional membership organization for everyone in our business, from first-time podcast creators to industry leaders.
At the TPA, we don't just award excellence, we cultivate it. And we've seen that here tonight. We are a dynamic network of talented and inclusive professionals dedicated to supporting one another and shaping our community for the better.
But let's have the benefits of joining speak for itself. Here's why you should join the Podcast Academy from the mouths of your future fellow members.
I am a proud member of the Podcast Academy, and I have been for years. What I find that the TPA is a grouping of the hardest working people in podcasting today. I continue to learn from and absorb the mighty microphone energy from these people.
I get to learn from people within the industry about topics that are relevant to me.
Having a community where sort of passion and work kind of intersect, and we can have those discussions about connections and audio equipment and all of that kind of stuff, but it's still fun and it still feels like I'm talking to friends.
The Slack community is a great way to connect with people. The webinars are a great way to meet people within the industry. And if I go to an industry event, I can very easily connect with other people who are members of TPA, and it's just a really great sort of foot in the door to start conversations.
TPA has a lot of opportunities, and if you're looking to grow and to expand your business, this is the place to be.
It's a great way to meet fellow podcasters and learn from people who've been doing this a lot longer than you have.
If you're a production company, you can find a distribution network. If you're looking for tech, you can meet a lot of people who are providing tech. If you're an editor and looking to join a team and looking for freelance work, this is definitely what you can find through the TPA communities.
You're able to really tap into all of these people who are podcasting and working through any type of problem you might have, whether it's on the technical side or the marketing side, and you just get a lot of resources.
The Podcast Academy is where powerful podcasters mobilize and form like Podcast Voltron, okay? It's a resource and it can help make you better at what you do.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jen Sargent, CEO of Wondery. No applause needed. Tonight we celebrate a milestone of the Podcast Academy, our 5th anniversary. Yeah, it's pretty incredible. Back in 2020, the founding governors had a vision for a space where the very best of our industry could be recognized and celebrated by peers. A place that would shine a light on the power of storytelling and bring us all together, just like it has tonight. Equally important was their vision to create a space where every creator, regardless of their background or where they are in the journey, could find belonging, support, and community. They set out to build an organization that was truly accessible to all. No gatekeeping, no closed doors, just one inclusive, supportive community united by a shared passion for podcasting and a desire to lift the entire industry together. We're incredibly proud of what's been accomplished over the past few years. And as the community building sponsor, Wondery is especially honored to be part of that mission. Of course, the work isn't finished. There's still room to grow, more bridges to build, more voices to amplify. But tonight, and every time we come together, we celebrate how far we've come and the strength of the community we've built.
I love being part of the Podcast Academy because it is the most awesome, supportive community. I had started a daily podcast of 365 days, and I stood up the first session and said, hey, I need to know what to do next. And I can't even explain to you. 3/4 of the room raised their hand behind me to offer to help. And from that minute forward, I had a community.
Podcast-specific communities are pretty hard to come by, and as popular as podcasting is and has become, it's pretty rare to find a community that, people who dedicate their lives to this.
The most valuable thing about being a member of the TPA has been being connected to people who can help you grow your craft and your career, your professionalism in the industry of podcasting.
Once you belong to this community, you can meet people, you can learn from them. Doesn't matter you have been in the industry for a long time or you just joined the industry. We all understand that we are here to help the industry to grow and to professionalize.
There's always somebody that you can come in contact with that's going to help you get to the next level of your podcasting skills.
I did the TPA mentorship program, and it was really helpful to have someone who was with me, for weeks at a time to kind of help me get my career off the ground.
When you become a member, it can be kind of overwhelming at first, but you find out that every single piece is so valuable in helping you build a community, whether it's directly getting you in contact with people that are C-level executives at some of the biggest podcast studios in the world, or meeting an indie podcaster you never knew about that's right next door.
The Podcast Academy is responsible for bringing forward a lot of great initiatives, including this fantastic night. But we truly could not be here doing any of this without the support of tonight's sponsors. So much of what we do and what we're able to do as an academy comes not just from the strength and support of our members, but from the backing of these admirable organizations. And on behalf of everyone, I'd like to offer our sincere thanks for your incredible commitment to and the patronage of the Podcast Academy and our industry as a whole.
As a member of the Board of Governors, one thing I'm very proud of this year is how we continue to open the doors wider, making the Ambies more global and more inclusive. That's why I'm especially excited to introduce a brand new category, the Best Spanish Language Narrative Podcast. This award celebrates powerful storytelling, fiction or nonfiction, originally created in Spanish. Spanish is our fourth most spoken language in the world, and here in the US, we have the fourth largest population of Spanish speakers. Add to that the millions more who are learning it every day. Shout out to Duolingo. While I don't speak Spanish fluently, lo siento a mi familia, my Mexican-American heritage gives me a deep appreciation for what the language carries: culture, connection, and storytelling. Spanish Language Podcast invites us into the stories that feel both intimate and expansive, whether we speak the language or are simply listening with curiosity and care. These nominees remind us of the power of voice, story, and perspective, no matter what language you speak. The winner is Umo.
Oh boy. First off, thank you so much to our nonfiction team, Rodrigo, Fer, Eve, Mariana, and everyone else at Sonora that worked on this project with Revista Factum. I'm so glad this category exists. We've been making Spanish language content for 5 years. Excited to shine a spotlight on stories from all over the world. This story, while painful, was important for us to tell, and we're glad we did it well, so thank you.
Please welcome co-founder of Campside Media, Matt Scher, and managing producer at Campside Media, Ashley Ann Krigbaum.
Thanks, guys. John Cryer, I just want to say I unfollowed you on Twitter, but it's only because I quit Twitter. I did not want you to think bad of me. Tonight, we spent a lot of time on categories that deal with our present reality.
And tonight's nominees for Best History Podcast understand that to process the present, we've got to zoom in on the past.
These podcasts have sought out the truths of their subjects and woven them into intricate and compelling stories that are meant to be heard and not read.
The nominees are...
For Best History Podcast, here are the nominees. American Experience presents Joseph McCarthy. Don't Drink the Milk, The Curious History of Things. Empire City, The Untold Origin Story of the NYPD. Hollywood Exiles. Into America, Uncounted Millions. Tested. Throughline.
And the winner is Empire City, the untold origin story of the NYPD.
All right. Oh, man. Let me just say, we made Empire City because we wanted to just challenge everyone to rethink policing, democracy, and safety at this critical moment. I share this award with so many people, so I'm just going to take some time to thank that. I just want to start out by giving, first of all, a huge thanks to my ancestors, including my dad, who lived through this history. You know what I mean? I just want to say big shout out to to the people who made this show, Diane Hodson, our senior producer, Peter Bresnan, folks at Wondery who just really gave us an incredible platform, Nigeri Eaton, George Lavender, Marshall Louis, Jen Sargent, and of course, at Crooked Media, Katie Long, Sarah Geismer. There's just so many people, Sam Riddell, Leo Duran, our incredible sound designer, Axel Kokutier, got to be shout out, and history. Heather Ann Thompson with History Studios, big shout out there. So anyway, there's just too many people to thank, but I just want to thank you for giving this sort of dense, kind of dark history podcast a platform. Thank you so much.
The shows in this next category demonstrate how much you can do when you have big ideas, big talent, and maybe a not-so-big budget.
Considering the cost of everything these days, it's all the more incredible and impressive that these incredible shows have managed to capture our interest and imagination. The nominees in Best DIY Podcasts are... And the winner is Abandoned, the All-American Ruins podcast.
It's like I've seen you before. This is so wonderful. I make a show about abandoned buildings that I explore, and the past and the history and the future that they tell. And I just want to say that the biggest honor tonight is to be in the room with audio storytellers who are wholly interested in the truth. And I don't mean to steal Ira Glass's words from tonight, but please keep making podcasts and telling the truth. It is so critical right now. Thank you so much for this. Very, very, very grateful.
With this category, the only limit is that of creativity. Fiction is anything and everything you want it to be, and this year's nominees run the gamut of storytelling from fantastic to fatalist, dramatic to whimsical.
And these nominees in Best Fiction Podcast bring us all along for the ride. And the winner is Tales of Fists and Fireballs.
to the Podcast Academy, to my manager Sandra, and to everybody at Inclusion Management, to my cast and my crew, and to all the nominees and their cast and their crews. You are the best in the world at what you do. And speaking of the best, is that the camera? To my beautiful black wife, Dr. Brittany Wilson Harris, OBGYN. She ain't here tonight. Give it up for her, y'all. Come on, baby. Baby, I love every cell, atom, and molecule that makes up who you are. She ain't here tonight. She's back in LA at home with our 5 kids. We got 1 daughter and 2 sets of twin boys under the age of 8. She's back at home, superwoman in the hell out of the household right now. So if y'all looking, I know y'all on that Twitch right now. Guess what? Y'all was right. Papa's coming home with that Ambi, baby. Yeah!
Introducing Twitch streamer and podcaster who chats about pop culture and politics, Caroline Kwan, to the stage.
Okay, so tonight a theme is emerging of truth and facts. So I would like to reveal a fact that is also a truth. Tig, you were nominated in every single category, but because you are also the host tonight, it's a conflict of interest. So I just felt I had to get that off. I had inside scoop as well, not just about the trophy. But anyway, the first category here. Do you like movies, books, television, radio, theater, audiobooks, video games, or podcasts? If you don't, you're at the wrong show. Best Entertainment Awards, the podcasts that devote themselves to every single thing that entertains us, all for our further entertainment. Tonight's nominees are like friends. You get to meet at the water cooler whenever you like. Whether you want to talk about White Lotus, whatever happened with Morgan Wallen at SNL, or Joni Mitchell B-side. And the Best Entertainment Podcast nominees are...
For the Best Entertainment Podcast, brought to you by The Hollywood Reporter. Here are the nominees. Infamous. Let Me Say This. Rattled and Shook. Scamfluencers. Split Screen Kid Nation. The Road to Joni. The Wonder of Stevie.
And the winner is The Wonder of Stevie.
Thank you so much, everybody. Audible is so honored to be part of the team that made The Wonder of Stevie. We want to thank Josh, Janelle, Asha, Raj, and the team at Pineapple Street Media. Dan, Nick, Mukta, Corinne, and everyone at Higher Ground, which also includes, of course, Mr. and Mrs. Obama. Wesley Morris and Questlove. And of course, Stevie Wonder, for letting us all tell this incredible story. Stevie has given us so many gifts, including the lesson that holding on to your optimism can get you through even the roughest of times. Thank you to the Academy, and thank you all so very much.
Laughter is a universal language, and these nominees prove that comedy podcasts can brighten our day, challenge our perspectives, sometimes make us laugh so hard we cry, sometimes make us think we're funnier than we really aren't. Whether through sharp wit, hilarious storytelling, or brilliant improv, these shows remind us why humor is so essential. So tonight we celebrate the best in comedy podcasting, the shows that keep us grinning, giggling, and sometimes gasping for breath. Here are the nominees for Best Comedy Podcast. And the winner is Las Culturistas with Matt Rogers and Bowen Yang.
Wow, Bowen Yang beat himself. Iconic. Thank you so much. I'm keeping this. I don't care that they only have one. They can figure it out. I'm so happy to be in a community of people that I truly get, which is people that don't shut the fuck up. I love that. Thank you so much to iHeart, to Big Money Players, our daddy Will Ferrell, Anna Hosnier and Becca Ramos, who produce our podcast. Doug Boehm and Monique Laborde, who edit our podcast, Spencer, who does our social. I really am so inspired to be around so many people that I respect so much, like Ira Glass, like John Cryer, Hunter Harris and Peyton Dix, my friends Zach Stafford and Sam Sanders, who I'm over there with. It's just a really, really inspiring night. And, Bowen and I were talking the other day about our progress reports and report cards in high school, and the comment that we would always get was socializing disturbs learning. And I really just want to say, fuck you to any teacher that said that to me. I made it a career. Mr. Holdsworth, you were just jealous, and you were always weird with the girls in class, and it's worth saying. The last thing I want to say is, especially in this community who don't shut the fuck up, today is National Trans Day of Visibility, and I hope we don't shut the fuck up about that. We see you, we love you, and we'll always stand by you. Thank you so much, Ambies Awards, and to everyone who voted. Thank you so much.
Why did all of us have that one teacher? Okay, so when I was supposed to present this at first, I was going to interview myself, which we nixed, but I think that's a good podcast idea. Like, maybe I just interview myself for a podcast. Anyway, great interviews do more than just ask us questions. They spark conversations that stay with us. The Best Interview Podcast Award honors shows that master the art of meaningful dialogue, turning simple conversations into something truly unforgettable. So here are the year's nominees. And the winner is Thanks Dad with Ego Wadim. The team from Thanks Dad is not here to accept in person, but we are honored to accept this award. So I just won my first podcast award. This is exciting. Anyway, thank you everyone. Enjoy the rest of the night. Go trans community.
Please welcome back to the stage TPA chairperson Christy Mirabal.
It's taking all my self-control not to dance on the stage to that banger. I have the true honor of presenting this year's Board of Governors Impact Award, which recognizes an individual or podcast that has made a meaningful and positive impact on listeners. And there's absolutely no question that our 2025 honoree, Sam Sanders, has done exactly that. Yeah. From its early days as founding host of the NPR Politics podcast, Sam's instinct has always been to uplift. He brings people into real conversations, ones that are sincere, thoughtful, and whenever possible, fun. Over the years, he has created space after space with that signature blend of curiosity, joy, and connection to shine. Whether it's Intuit, Vibe Check, or his latest, The Sam Sanders Show, Sam leads with care and with clarity. He's been recognized by places like the New York Times, Spotify, and now we're proud to add the Ambies set list again. On behalf of the Podcast Academy Board of Governors, it's my pleasure to present the 2025 Impact Award to Sam Sanders.
Thank y'all so much. I know Matt said he would keep this, but I'm gonna fucking keep it. I want to thank my Aunt Betty, who just heard me curse. Sorry, she's watching the live stream. My Aunt Donna is watching as well. Thank you both for your forever support. And I want to read a speech now that I wrote that is basically all about Ira Glass. I want to thank Ira for an episode of This American Life from 20 years ago that made me want to make audio. It was called Heretics, and it was all about an evangelical fire and brimstone minister who was excommunicated from his church after he stopped believing in hell. His name was Carlton Pearson, and the story was riveting. This guy who was the strictest of the strictest evangelicals, who would have revivals that brought in tens of thousands of people, all of a sudden he said, "I don't believe in hell, it doesn't exist," and then he lost everything. I heard this story while I was driving my mother, a former Pentecostal church organist, to Wednesday night church service at a fire and brimstone church. It was so riveting that my mother and I were quiet the entire hour-long drive to church, and once we got to church, she couldn't even look me in the eye. But I knew that after that moment and that episode that I would want to make audio myself because the story hit so close to home. This minister, Carlton Pearson, was not just a voice that I heard in this story. He was also a man who made music that my mother would play in the car when I was a kid when she drove us to church. So to hear This American Life take on his story and take his story seriously, it moved me in ways I didn't expect. So in this episode, the minister stops believing in hell, and he believes that God tells him that humans are the ones who make heaven or hell here on earth every day with their words and their action. When I think about the work that I do, that Ira does, that all of us here do, I think the goal is to make a little more heaven than hell down here. I'm so grateful to get to do it. I have so many people to thank for the chance to do it. I want to thank my showrunner, Tyler Green, who's here tonight, my co-host, Zach Stafford, who's here tonight. I want to thank everyone at KCRW and Sirius and every other place throughout the years that has hired me and allowed me to talk. And I want to specifically thank all of the voices that have been in my ears for so long, urging this little kid who grew up with a horrible stutter to talk for a living. Who knew? Thank you all for this award. Thank you, Aunt Betty and Aunt Donna. I'm sorry for the profanity. Thank you, Ira Glass. Y'all have a great night.
Give a warm welcome to the Director of Sales and Business Development at CastBox, Valentina Kaladina, and producer-host of the podcast, Just One Person, Lisa Bloom.
We covered micro budgets earlier tonight, but now it's time for micro teams.
Indie podcasts do it by themselves, or with fewer than 4 other people, because they identify with Destiny's Child, Independent Woman Part 1, because they have a great idea and the wherewithal to get it done.
Tonight's nominees in Best Indie Podcast can certainly be proud of the extraordinary storytelling they've achieved with a singular vision and determination.
For Best Indie Podcast, here are the nominees. Sightings.
This is a ghost story, but not the kind you'd expect.
the insurgents, sheriffs,
If this network existed above ground, what else were they doing that we couldn't see?
the man who calculated death,
She had some secrets. Mom had some secrets. She did.
the Nightingale of Iran.
A documentary podcast series about identity, belonging, and music.
The People's Recorder,
The Writers' Project was an attempt to introduce America to itself.
the TMI Project Story Hour,
It's the TMI Project Story Hour.
What Happened in Skinner,
We would never escape the memory of March 17th, 1899.
And the winner is What Happened in Skinner.
Oh my gosh. Especially as indie creators, it means so much to be able to tell a story that we care about so much and have that story connect us with listeners who care too. Whispers, we adore you.
Skinner wouldn't exist without our incredible cast and tiny crew who donate all of their talents to our project. And thank you to Chelsea, Teddy, Sam, Annika, Caitlin, TJ, Mitch, O'Reilly, and our patrons.
Thank you so much to the Academy and everybody who voted for us. And thank you to my parents who supported me even when I left a dead-end job at Harvard to pursue a lucrative career in indie fiction podcasting. Thank you all.
Thank you.
So the next category is for people who are not just the voice of their show, but they're pretty much the whole show.
Best Indie Host recognizes that shaping a show and appealing to audiences without the backing of a big team or a corporation behind them are particular skills in themselves.
They're basically the friend you would love to hang out with, just without them knowing. The nominees for Best Indie Host or Hostess are
Best Indie Podcast Host or Hosts. Here are the nominees: Susan Lambert-Haddam and Sharon Johnson.
Your host, Sharon Johnson and Susan Lambert-Haddam.
Deja Perkins and Purbita Saha.
We have to do more than just advocate for bird safety. We also have to ensure their survival.
Lisa Phillips.
Behind every headline of abuse lies a story of survival, courage, and transformation.
Kate McCoy and Kevin Corbett.
Olive said, "Ooh, I love me a dancing man."
Me too, honey.
Lisa Woolfolk.
I want you to have ease in your sewing practice so you can enjoy it for a long time.
Jill Jonathan.
Extremists across the country are attacking our freedoms.
Dallas Taylor.
You're listening to 20,000 Hertz. I'm Dallas Taylor.
And the winner is Dallas Taylor for 20,000 Hertz. Dallas Taylor is not here to accept in person, but we are honored to accept this award on their behalf.
Oh, hey everybody. Hope you're having fun. I got some more scoop on that statue. When I was just standing back there, I was told that that actually is the statue from a previous winner, because this is true. The one that was shipped out was signed for by another business or company, And so they have the award. I can only assume it's the cardiology event that's going on. So congrats to them for their award tonight. And thank you to Caroline Kwan for mentioning why I didn't get nominated. Anyway, just 2 more to go. That's why I'm back. No more entrances and exits. We're closing up shop. And I've got the honor of presenting the big ones. Thank you. First up, Best Podcast Host or Hosts. I like to think I've got a good feel of what it takes to make a good podcast host. But anyway, I can only assume these nominees are way better than me. So not better enough to get the untelevised hosting gig, though, but definitely impressed everyone.
For Best Podcast Host or Hosts, here are the nominees. Diallo Riddle and Blake Luxury Robin.
I'm Luxury.
And I'm Diallo Riddle.
And this is One Song. We will see you next time.
Rainn Wilson as Terry Carnation.
I can't see anything except beans and monsters.
Sam Sanders.
Can I write you a check for $180? Because this was just therapy.
Jon Stewart.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and all the ships at sea. Welcome to The Weekly Show. It's our podcast. My name is Jon Stewart.
Wesley Morris.
We're about to drive somewhere. No. We're about to fly.
Glennon Doyle, Abby Wambach, and Amanda Doyle.
When there is rot at the core of anything, you're going to see that in the fruit.
Ronald Young Jr.
I'm Ronald Young Jr., and this is Wait For It.
And the winner is Ronald Young Jr. for Wait For It.
Wow, that was like a murderer's row of hosts. Did y'all see that? That was, stiff competition, and I'm a huge fan of everyone in the category. Sam, if I can say something about you, like one black guy to another black guy, I'm trying to be like you, dog. So last year, I was accepting an award on this stage, and while I was accepting the award, my mom was sick in the hospital, and what we didn't know is that she was dying, and she died. And I feel like before she died, I came back with the Ambies. She saw the awards, she saw the thank you, she saw all that, and she was so proud of me. And so the one thing that I could say, standing up here wearing her glasses that I inherited from her, is that I know that she's proud of me, and I thank God to have that opportunity. So thanks to the Academy, thanks to all my fellow nominees, to everybody else. Thank you so much.
Okay, this is it. The grand finale, Podcast of the Year. Graciously sponsored once again by Outfront Media. These are the best of the best, the representatives that keep podcasting's good name alive. And to forward that idea, tonight's winner doesn't just get the cool statue that's in rotation, but 1 full day on a billboard in Times Square. Not to turn this into more of a competition, but I've actually been on a billboard in Times Square for several days in a row. The Podcast of the Year nominees are...
And now, for Podcast of the Year, brought to you by Outfront. Here are the nominees. 99% Invisible, not built for this.
It's hot, nasty, muggy, and it really sucks because there's nowhere out there to really cool down.
Beyond All Repair.
What would have been okay to say? Because the truth wasn't.
Cement City.
See, that's what we really don't need.
I'm not buying a house, honey.
Well, that's why I'm asking you.
Dragon Age, Vows and Vengeance.
I won't let you pay for my mistakes.
Empire City, the untold origin story of the NYPD.
At a time when we're debating where policing is going, we're going to tell you where the police came from.
Far Away.
A speaker. I have been programmed with your mother's conscious thoughts.
Fire Escape.
I had to decide that I was worthy.
Hot White Ice 2.
Pretty cool about that Peter Teo guy being the first gay man in space, right?
Is it? That guy sucks.
Hysterical.
Seeing all these girls, like, they're not making it up. I just don't believe that that's the thing.
Through Line.
06:30 on a Sunday morning, Beirut, Lebanon. Everybody was asleep.
And the winner is Hysterical.
Thank you. I did the thing where you're like, I didn't think this was going to happen, and so I didn't think too much about it. Just to listen to something that I made with a group of people, like, you work so hard for several years, and then it comes out, and it's its own thing, and you're just super psyched about it, and then to actually have people listen is incredible. So thank you for that. Pineapple Street Studios, they've been my partners forever. Thank you so much. Thank you to Wondery. This is the second podcast I've done with you guys, and thank you not just because of the money, because that's good, to help pay for it, because it's expensive to make these shows, but for the creative input, and the executives there really helped make this show better, and so thank you for that. Joe Lovell, Diane Hodson, who was my editor, and actually all of a sudden, like in the middle of the project, took a class on Freud. Like she was taking a class on Freud so that she could give me better notes. Henry Molosky, Maria Alexa Kavanaugh, Lena Masitsi, Sophie Bridges, Asha Saluja. Just thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to make, and I'm just so glad you liked it.
That's it, everybody. That's the show. Thanks for being here. Congratulations to all of tonight's winners, and fingers crossed, we'll see you all next year at the annual cardiology meeting. Again, that is on the second floor. See you then, and good night.
My brother has a podcast. His words are so sublime. He brings us news and information. His show is Leave a Time.
My girlfriend's into podcasts. She has a new obsession. She loves wrongful conviction and leaves strong impression.
Mark Maron's show alone could play for 30 years. 5 years of the Ambies, celebrating greatness, shining light on new shows. Man, I can't say I hate this. Everyone's got one, every mother, son, and daughter.
Ratios hook you at the trailer, high heights and Cement City, curling scandals for the piss. Scam got us, yeah, it's funny. Snap judgments, more money. Conan looking for some friends. Right on young is making trends.